Hello and welcome to another Dragonstorm Studios video. And today we're going to take all of the skills that we've gone over in the past 3 videos on dragons, and we're going to create our own wonderful creation. So I begin pretty much every drawing just with a circular shape, and then I kind of just build up from there. So I try to imagine here's where the eyebrow ridges would be, and I'll post a link to the very first video to show how I do some of these things for the head, for example, which is the first video. And we'll have a horn coming back here, and we get another one over here. And when in this early stage, I'm really not thinking too much about what the pose is going to look like. I'm kind of just working out what I want it to be. Now, if I was to create a custom piece of artwork for somebody, a commission, I would definitely take a bit more time to plan it out. But we're just going to kind of play around here and see what we can come up with for ideas. So we've got this long sort of snout sort of shape. Maybe not quite as long as that. It's going to come back, and here's the cheekbone. We'll have a mouth over here, nice big jaw. And we might put some little spikes over here. And there's the open mouth and the jaw with its eye over here. And maybe we'll have its neck kind of come back just like this. He's going to rear his head epically here. And I think it was in The Hobbit, they had a scene where Smaug was about to breathe fire. So maybe we'll have some sort of veins of magma or molten fire in his neck and chest here. And that could look really cool, I think. Have an arm over here. He's going to be rearing his head. Maybe he's rearing his head at something or someone. So maybe over here we can put a knight. He's on a road of some sort here, and we'll have him. He's gonna be kind of small, but that's to give the dragon a scale. The horse is rearing back. The knight's got his sword up, ready to go, or a lance maybe, and maybe he's on a mountain cliff or something. We can have the dragon maybe gripping the side of the mountain. And at this stage here, I'm really open to lots of ideas and to changing things up if necessary. I'm kind of just sketching away, getting the basic idea on paper. So I'll take a few minutes to refine that, and I'll come back and we'll add some detail to it. So although still very rough, you can see where some detail has been added. Horns, teeth, these chest plates on the body. Still working out some details on the claws, and I kind of just redid the knight because I wasn't sure about the pose there. So happy at the moment with how it's looking. We'll add some more detail to maybe the pose. Again, this claw right here is really not doing it for me, but we're still in that planning phase of the drawing, and it is looking a lot better already. All right, so the line work is pretty much done. There's some work still to be done on the chest, but I want to get the shadows and shading in before I put too much detail there, since otherwise it'll just be lost. I also added a bit of a path here to show the continuation. That way it doesn't look quite so strange having a single path winding up the mountain. You've got another one over here to show some sense of continuity. And keeping pencil sharp at all times is very good. I do wish that I had made this picture a little bit bigger. I did in a sketchbook, so it's not ideal size-wise, but we'll make it work. So I've also got 2 light sources. I've got the lightning bolt from behind the dragon over here, and I've got the moon, and that way, again, I'm not losing so much detail in the chest. So starting on the left, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to just start working on some of the details over here, adding some shading and shadows and thinking about where the light's coming from. And this, again, process is quite time-consuming and tedious, so I'll just start it off, and I'll kind of skip ahead a little bit here and there. But it gives you at least a sense of the kind of work involved. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of art. It requires time and pressure, just like geography. And if I take my blending stop, I can get this nice dark in the wings. And again, all of these skills that I'm going to be working on in this video are outlined in more detail in the previous 3 videos when I went over how to draw dragons. So when drawing the head, for example, the shapes involved, there's a video for that to help you out. In case you want to follow along and do some of these yourself. I highly recommend trying your own poses out, though. It's so satisfying when you get it to work. It can be frustrating as well, don't get me wrong. This was not my first attempt, as I mentioned, on this drawing, but certainly once I got there, once I reached the point where I was happy with it, it really was rewarding as a result. So I'm going to steal some of this graphite to just darken in some veins in the wing here. All right, and then we'll put some texture into the, I guess it's like the wing arm, for lack of a better word. And I'm only going to really see any of that texture at the top, kind of think of it, from where the lightning bolt's going off there. So we'll just put a little bit on the top there. You've got the membrane here. Maybe you've got a little battle damage, some rip. I was actually online the other day looking for, see if there's any like dragon creator games out there. Like you get the starting screen in a lot of RPGs and you make it your own character. I was kind of looking for a dragon version of that, but I really didn't find anything which was terribly interesting. There was a game that was supposed to come out from Xbox called Scalebound, which looked so exciting, and then it got canceled, and I was devastated by that. It would have gotten me to buy an Xbox, I think. But alas, the game was canceled, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be the same. So this part of the wing is going to be completely in shadow because the armpit's kind of in the way there. And a lot of drawing is just like that, kind of thinking your way through what you'd see in a picture. And you'll get better with practice with that as well, the more you do it. So I'm going to work on the lightning a little bit, the lightning effect here on the top left of the drawing. You've seen me do this before, but because I can't guarantee that you've seen all of the videos, which is definitely fair. I'm up to like 75 or 76 now. I'm just going to go over it again. I use my nice dark pencil to get some really good night sky darkness on the page, and then while stopping around the lightning bolt, I then just use my blending stomp and kind of get close up to the edge of it with the blending stomp, and that creates that wonderful flash effect as if the lightning's just gone off and done its thing. So while I do that, I gotta say another thing I really love about these videos is that because of the transitions, I get to see the before and after effect. So one thing I had actually a hidden benefit of doing these videos is I'm able to see how the progress happens. So that transition that just happened, just there you saw, I get to watch it too and see just what a difference the shading makes. And sometimes it's really surprising even to me just how different the drawing looks from 1 minute to the next. I'm working on it over the span of 20, 30, 40 minutes. And to be able to see that jump from not shaded in to shaded in, it's really incredible sometimes what a difference it is. So I'm thrilled with that too. It's a very beneficial process for me also. So you can see that lightning effect coming along beautifully there. You can really see the effect of the value change there, the dark in the picture. Just what an amazing effect that has. And it's really not a lot of work, it's just time. So use the side of my pencil, and the side of my pencil allows me to use more of the graphite at one time on the page, just to make things speed up a little bit. Otherwise, this would be an even more agonizing process. But it is worth it because the effect is just so striking. It just pops off the page now at this point. I'm going to do the same effect around the moon as I did with the lightning. And you can see how I'm kind of working again left to right as much as possible, just to kind of keep the smudge down to a minimum, but using the paper to help guide me as I go. And just keep at it. Just keep thinking about where the light's coming from and where you get shadows cast as a result of that light effect. Sharp-eyed viewers will notice that I got rid of the outline of the moon before I shaded in around it, and that just adds to the luminous quality of it. It just makes it look a bit more realistic. And at this point in the drawing, I'm just adding more and more dark to the picture. And challenge yourself. Push those boundaries of comfort level that you have. Try going darker just in increments. Just here and there, go darker. Because it is a bit of a balancing act. You don't want to go too dark, all of a sudden there's nothing left on your page, which is discernible. But just feel free to try darkening things up. Go darker until you feel as if maybe you're nearing that edge of going too far. And don't forget that if you do in fact go a bit too far with your darkness, you can just take your eraser without erasing, you just kind of press the eraser down and that lifts off some of that darkness from your page. You have to clean your eraser afterwards, obviously, but it just helps to pull off some of the graphite. But go darker, try it out, because it's amazing what an effect that contrast, that darkness has. And hopefully you'll find that the picture looks really amazing when you're finished. And here we have the final version. And I'm hoping that you can see a sense of scale and proportion, and just the value really gives you a sense of how easy it is to create these effects in your drawings. I'm going to spend a little bit of time putting on a fixative here, and if you don't know what that is, and I've got a video which I'm going to link right here, which has to do with how to create drawings that don't have the smudge effects that you often get with this much value in the work. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.